Okay, so the image we're working with is our spine is centered in our body like a tent pole, and you're creating length, so pulling the two ends apart without disrupting. So first of all, we just did that, which is very simple, and the idea is that when you stretch your arms overhead, the reach of your arms is encouraging your spine to lengthen without flipping up and down. And the other image for that is it's like a telescope being pulled this way, but not bent. So you can do this way. You can also go wide. Same idea, I should be able to open out wide with my front and the back of my chest without changing the shape of my spine. So that's all we did to start with. Then we followed it up with lining the feet up with the hip sockets, keeping this stillness and length, rotating the legs out, rotating them in. I can feel that I roll onto the outside borders of my feet. When I bring my legs back to the center, it's not because I'm pulling from my feet, it's because I'm rolling in with my inner thighs. That's really important for you, Craig, that when you come from there to vertical, you're doing it from here, not from your foot. You okay with that? Then we did this great one here, which was really cool, which is trying to rotate the hip out and the opposite arm out. So when you did that side, as your left leg went out, everything was going that way as well. So your cue is to keep your right sitting bone heavy and down, your knee in line with your hip, so that as you rotate your opposite arm and leg out, your body stays centered. So we did that. Then we did 3 different directions of movement for your upper back, which you're very familiar with. It's just the thinking that goes with it. So I want to create length through my spine, my lower back, my upper back, so that I'm long as I extend. And then as I come forward, it's a long C-shaped curve rather than crunching the front of my spine. Long C-shaped curve, long C-shaped curve. The end result is it's just your rib cage that moves. Then we did rotation. My ear, which is closest to you, which is my right ear, I'm turning my right ear to listen to the floor. My rib cage follows, and then naturally my pelvis and hips will follow, and I end up with my right ear down to the ground. The goal here is to keep the length of the spine, left ear down, ribs and pelvis. So that's rotation. And then the last one we did was side bending. So I'm thinking of my right ear going to my right hip, my left ear going to my left hip. Again, trying to keep that really nice feeling of length all the way through the spine. Then we did rotation. So if you think about your spine again, just being beautifully long, wide open chest, collarbones, your foot across onto your knee. So when you're rotating, you're trying to sequence it. So I've got my pelvis and my leg, trying to keep my knee turned out. And then when I get to here, the next bit is my arm comes over as soon as you want. When you get there, try to keep the knee open, arm, pelvis, leg, and then obviously the other side as well. Then we thought about crawling. So what was happening with your crawling was that when you were crawling forward, you were actually across onto this hip and slightly inwardly rotated on that left hip. So what you want to imagine is that one is slightly turned out with your feet flat. And then when you go to do your bear crawl, again, trying to think about that stability over that left hip. I'll just do an impersonation of you doing your bear crawl. Your bear crawl was a bit like that way. So you
Okay.
tend to do you lose stability of your left hip and your pelvis shuffle sideways. Okay, and keeping the spine long. That's it.